much for coming in for a Q&A video. I'm sorry I've been taking so long with these videos, but I've just been trying to put out other videos and then my haul videos and all of that. But we're going to do it today. Okay, so here it goes. Let me see if I can load up these videos. It was giving me a hassle a minute ago. Let me see what I have here. Questions on here that I hadn't seen from the last time. Well, I think it was posted like a week ago. I usually acknowledge the question and then I will answer it on my Q&A. So I'm sorry that I didn't, but I just now saw it and I really appreciate it. The first question is from Jessica Kamer, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And she says, another wonderful video. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Hacking items. I tend to list items and then put them on a shelf until they sell. I just reached 500 listings and every time an item sells, I'm scrambling to find a suitable box to ship it in. How can I be more organized and efficient? What I do, I have a collection of boxes. I do not buy boxes, and a lot of people swear by buying their boxes and they get them cheap and whatever, and that's fine, whatever suits your needs. I try to just cut pennies wherever I can. Do a lot of online shopping myself, so I save a lot of my boxes. My neighbor also helps me, and she's been informed to please let me have any of her packing or shipping materials. With my Poshmark sales, those are prepaid labels, so I just USPS boxes at the post office, and I have put a system in place where I take my pictures, and once I've taken their picture, I've put them in a certain place. A lot of storage units in my garage. I have about 3 dressers in there, chest of drawers and dressers only for my eBay things. So they're in there, and then my husband has been buying me a lot of shelving units as well, and I've been covering them with shower curtains. If they're open shelving, I cover them with shower curtains, and that really helps with the dust. And luckily things really move pretty quickly, so they don't really stay there very long. And if they do, I try to have a garage sale, or I try to have a trip to the flea market, and I'm going to bring you that ride along very soon, just probably right after this one. So keep an eye out for that. For my ride along to the flea market and my garage. So they went really well. I was really happy with it. The system of my jewelry, I have it in jewelry boxes in here, and I do organize them by category. For instance, I have rhinestone earrings in one place. I have boxes just for brooches, and they're usually glass, sort of a frame type of box, because I used to sell a lot at flea market, so I really had started to collect a lot of that. Once I have listed the items, they go into another box, and I have a big box. It looks kind of like a fishing tackle box, but it's not. I already know, okay, it's sold. This is something that I just listed, and it's going to be there, and that's where I find it. So that's kind of it. Keep on top of, rather, because you bring in, like right now, I just brought 2 big bags for a haul from a thrift store, and I know that I'm going to do my haul, and then it's going to be in the other room for a couple of days until I start deciding, okay, I'm going to picture all purses today, and I'll start photographing all purses, and then I'll put them away. And then, or the toys, same thing. I'll have to decide, okay, today's the day I'm going to take a picture of all these toys, and then I'll put them away. So yeah, because if not, it'll be there for a week or 2, and it won't get listed and it won't get put away. I also started selling plush, so I keep those. I have a glass case in my garage. I don't have that many, so I haven't had the need to use a bin system. I know a lot of people use the big hefty lidded bins, and they put their things there, and they'll label them, bears and tigers and lions or whatever, and they'll know that way, or by color. I know a lot of people do that with their t-shirts as well. I don't sell that many clothes, so I keep most of them in here. I do have a stack of t-shirts in my closet because they were my son's t-shirts, and they're laundered and cleaned, and they're his, and those have been selling really well on Etsy. They're vintage 90s. So, and then I have my mugs. I have finally found a place for my mugs. I have a china cabinet in my garage that my neighbor gave me, and she gave me that and a table and chairs a few years ago when my son was in college, and we took him the table and chairs, and we kept the china cabinet because we used it for storage. I used it for storage here in the house, and then I moved it out to the garage because I ran out of room. But that's what I'm using for my cups right now. So I have those in there, and I'm just constantly trying to find ways to reorganize and better organize. I finally redid my books. I was so happy to redo my books because I thought I had them in a pretty organized fashion, but I really didn't. things like crafts and sports and foreign language and things like that. But I took out the Dewey Decimal System and I looked up the Dewey Decimal System again and I used it, and it's just so much better. I added a few things. For instance, they have maybe history and geography together, but I also put biographies and things like that. So I have biographies in one section, I have kids in one section, I have all my teacher resource books in another section, textbooks, science and math together. And so that has helped me so much because I don't do FBA books. I don't do anything FBA actually on Amazon. So I have a ton of books, and luckily they are moving really, really fast for me. But and I've always collected books anyway, so I have them organized now, so it is quick. I sell it and I find it, and it is the most amazing, wonderful feeling to just be able to go to the shelf where I know it is, look a little bit, and then there it is. It's great. All right, guys, I rambled way too much on that question. I'm sorry. Let me move on. Guillermo M., he says, great Q&A and tips. Thank you. Love watching them, and yes, a flea market video would be awesome. I am bringing that flea market video really soon. I have 2 questions on Posh. Do you cash out or keep the money you make and buy something with it? What are good mid, high-end brands and items to sell? Everything is linked to your credit card, so as soon as the item is received by the buyer and the buyer is happy with it, they release the money to your account, and then you request for it to be kind of like Amazon, and you request for it to be deposited into your account. Or you can actually accumulate the money there, and that's really good for a lot of people who love to shop and who love fashion, and which is, you know, the gist of the site, because that way you have credits there, and that's your money that you can use to buy something else. You can choose to keep it there, or you can cash it out. You don't get paid right away like you do on eBay. You have to wait for that person to approve the item, or as far as, yes, this is what I ordered, this is perfect the way you described it, and then they give you a rating, and then you get your money. Now, as far as mid to high end, of course, you know, your Louis Vuitton bags, anything like that will sell, Chanel, all of that. And but the mid things, let me look on here, guys. Like right here it says shop showrooms. They have Tiffany & Company jewelry, Chanel, MCM bags, engagement and wedding rings. You can buy some good stuff on here, guys. Philip Lim handbags, Chloe Marcy handbags, Hermes accessories. These are all high-end, guys. I'm still trying to get down there. Hold on. David Yurman, Fendi, Balenciaga. It's so pretty. Valentino shoes, Steve Madden. Coach is a good mid area there. Sam Edelman shoes under 100. Anthropology. You'll find lots of Victoria's Secret. Girls love the Victoria's Secret stuff. Everything from the tote bags to the perfumes. Vivienne Westwood, Tory Burch, Juicy Couture, Free People, Lululemon, 7 for All Mankind, of course Nike. All of that kind of stuff is going to sell. I mean, really just about everything. I really can't think of any other brands. What I like to do, I love the magazine Lucky, because it's about shopping, and it does tend to talk a lot about not only the brands, but in the way they describe them, and I try to use those words. I'm not the type of person who's going to say, just because Poshmark allows you characters or something, very few characters, but I'm going to utilize those characters, and I'm going to try to use the correct terminology for the handbag. I'm not going to call it a black bag when I can call it a black satchel. I'm not going to call it a clutch when I can call it a baguette, and things like that. So I always do that. I not only do I love to look at them just for my own pleasure, but I do it to also learn, because they describe it, or they'll say things like the backpack kicked up a notch by Adidas or whatever, and you know, those little kinds of turns of phrases really helps your listing stand out. So I try to do that, and you get to learn about the new brands as well. And I was telling my daughter today, we went into the mall. She was purchasing some things from Forever 21. And Forever 21 is, you know, your mid mall brands, but I like to go in there because I like to see the mannequins. I like to see what's trending as far as the younger set and what they're wearing, what they're looking for. Because though they're selling their name brands in there, their signature brand, Forever 21, I'm going to go and look at that and look for that at a thrift store. I'm going to look for it in a vintage, retro aspect of it. So that's kind of why I do that. And of course, I'm always looking at the latest fashion magazine. Pick up a Vogue, pick up Mademoiselle, Lucky and Vogue. Those are magazines that I always pick up and glance through just to know what brands, and not only that, but how much they're selling for, because if a tiny little clutch is selling for $500, I can get $98 for mine, you know? So that's always good to know as well. My mom is a bit of a hoarder but has lots of vintage items. What would you suggest to tackle first in selling her items? Also, what platform should I use? We're trying to sell as fast as possible so that she can use items towards her bills for her pancreatic cancer treatments. Our prayers are with her mother. And definitely, if you have a whole bunch of things you want to sell quickly, I would lot them. If they are vintage, I would put things together. For instance, if you have a collection of beaded handbags from the 20s or 30s or whatnot, I would put those all together. I put a nice big price on them on Etsy. And I would maybe even put on the listing, make me an offer or something to that nature. And then, and I would list simultaneously on eBay as well. And I would look into Poshmark as well, because they do sell vintage items there. I found some fabulous vintage handbags there. And so just anywhere you can put them is what I would do with that. Good luck with that sale. And again, all my best to your mother. Thank you so much for asking the question. Yes, Rosalie Thompson said on my book haul, so glad you showed us how to pack and ship the book. Can you show us how to pack glass? Thanks for your help. I am going to show you that. I recorded a little bit of a cup that I sold. I sold a cup to one of my subscribers. Thank you so much for purchasing that. And I did film a little bit of that. So, and this was just to show you also that I don't always have a box. I always try to save money when I can without risking breaking that. I think the last time I sold some mugs, it's costing me anywhere from $7.50 to $8 to ship those. And even the little envelope, which I have done on the envelope, I don't remember if it was, I think it was a smaller mug. On the little $6.95 envelope, I have done it successfully in there as well. But I didn't want to risk it with this one because it was a subscriber and I knew it was special to her. So I used some styrofoam. I have it in that, and I will show you how I package that out. I'll insert it somewhere here or there so you can see. Okay, well, I decided to do the glass mug. I don't normally do very much glass, but I did put a normal size coffee mug in there, as you can see. And then I'm going to insert all of these peanuts on top and put the same kind of a styrofoam lid on top. So this is how I wound up packaging the mug. It was actually more hollowed out than this one is. You know, I try not to spend money on supplies if I can help it. So that's what I did. Wrapped it up really well there. Covered it up with more foam. All right, so I think those are all the questions from the book haul or from my Q&A. I did get one more question from a new subscriber that wanted me to do a video on selling books, and I have touched on that in most of my book hauls, but I will gladly do another one. I am going to try to get that up as soon as I can and talk about all about selling books. So I will put that up soon, but that's it for now. Thank you so much for coming in for this video. I really appreciate it. I love doing the Q&A. So if you have any other questions about anything, please post it here. Or if you have any comments regarding how I answered other people's questions, please do so as well. It's always helpful to have a give and take, and that's what I really love about this series. So stay tuned for a haul and my ride-alongs, and I'll talk